And so then the next time you look for that flight, it's gonna jack the prices up. Crazy, right? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to jump right in and I'm going to tell you my secrets as to how I've been traveling so much. So basically in the last like 6 months, so at the start of 2018, I've been to Philadelphia. I actually moved from Philadelphia to North Carolina. After that, I took a trip to St. Petersburg, Florida. I've been to Chicago, LA, San Francisco, Atlanta, Georgia, Wilmington, North Carolina, basically the beach. And like, you know, that's around 6 places or over 6 places. So that's averaging to be like a new place every single month. And I truly feel like I have been exploring and living my best life, and I want to teach you guys how I've been so fortunate to make those trips. Let's start all the way from the beginning. First off, you have to have a job, obviously, but even when I didn't have a job, when I was in college and I had like, you know, just like this part-time job, I was making as much money as I could while I was going to college, I still somehow was able to take trips. So it's all about taking opportunities. So especially if you work a part-time job and you do not have to go into work every day and you're super flexible, you can always, you know, you can just be like, oh, I'm gonna take these 3 days off and I'm going to drive wherever. And so for me, it was starting off by taking short trips to the surrounding cities. So I would live in one central location and I would be like, that city is not that far away from me, I can easily drive there. If you don't have the money for an Airbnb or a hotel, I will teach you how to use Airbnb. But if you don't have the money for that and you literally have maybe like $20, $30, you can still travel, because go wherever you can go in a day. So, oh, there's a beach 2 hours away. Wake up super early, drive your butt there, have a great day, drive your butt back, you know? So you have to start small, and that's exactly how I started. And then from there, you know, I also take opportunities to move different places. So when I was in college, I took up an internship that put me in Richmond, Virginia. And so I got to experience that city by physically living there. So it's all about seizing opportunity. So let's say you want to take a little bit bigger of a trip. Let's say you live in the mid-states, like in the Midwest area, and you're like, there's literally not a city close enough to me to drive to in a day. So let's start talking about how to take bigger and bigger trips. Everyone's gonna sit here and say, oh, you have to save money, you have to save money, but you know, it's kind of not like that. It's being smart and quick, being quick with decisions, being smart about like planning your trips. So I have a huge trick for you guys, and that is incognito mode on Google Chrome. So if you don't know this, basically when you type into the search bar into Google regularly, the internet browser, so Google Chrome or Safari, is taking something called cookies. And basically what cookies are is they're your personal data. So when you type in flight to Chicago, it takes that and it will store it. And so then the next time you look for that flight, it's gonna jack the prices up. Crazy, right? Yes. So incognito mode, so you go to Google Chrome, you click file, and then you can, it's like new window, blah, 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 blah. And it'll say like new incognito window, and you pull that up, and that means that your cookies aren't being stored. That's where you look for flights, okay? Also, depending on the day and time and month, it'll change the flight prices. And so you have to learn how to plan ahead. So, oh, I have it in my mind that I want to go to Houston, Texas sometime in the future. I was checking flights back in March and they were $600 round trip. I just checked those same flights and it was $200 round trip, right? So another story I wanted to tell you guys about that is seizing opportunity within flights. And by that I mean, I planned a trip to California. Originally it was supposed to be months away in August. Well, I was checking flights for August and realized that for some reason, you know, a flight 2 weeks from now was super cheap. And I was like, we gotta plan that. I have a best friend out there. I called her up. I was like, yeah, you know, like this is a little bit last minute, but you know, I can actually come in 2 weeks. And so we planned the whole thing. It was set, it was done. But listen here. So my flight went from North Carolina. I had a 14-hour layover in Denver, Colorado. And then from Denver flew into San Francisco. So you're gonna have to learn how to make sacrifices. If you go to bed every day at 10 p.m. or you like to sleep in, you can't make these opportunities happen for you if you're not willing to sacrifice. So for me, that's a crazy day. Like that's a crazy layover. And what I did is I went out and I explored Denver, Colorado. If you've seen my vlog about Denver, Colorado, that's exactly what my day was like. I literally left the airport, took a light rail into the city, and had the best day of my life. And now I fell in love with Denver, Colorado because I took that opportunity. What I could have done, alternatively, it's I think it's about a 6-hour flight from coast to coast, roughly, not sure, don't quote me. I could have taken a direct flight. First off, that's gonna be more expensive. A direct flight would have been $200 more expensive. And would I have seen Denver, Colorado? No. So you have to jump on these opportunities. So now I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Airbnb. This can be a lifesaver or it can be a total nightmare, okay? I have had both. I have had where I accidentally, because I'm cheap, I accidentally booked a Airbnb for me and my mom in Philadelphia in the hood. And it's not just like, you know, it's not just like a little North Carolina hood where it's like, oh, it's kind of bad, but you just have to like stay to yourself. No, honey, no. This was like the hood of the hood of the hood of the hood of Philadelphia. It was North Philly. If you know Philly, you know, okay? You know. So, such a bad experience. I didn't know what I know now about Airbnb, and I'm gonna show you guys, or I'm gonna tell you exactly what I do when I use Airbnb. Read the reviews, but sometimes the reviews are biased. So the reviews on that place were actually kind of like, oh, nice place, close to this university, yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, check the reviews, yes, because that's important and it will give you some signs whether you may not want to be there. But also, you need to, what it'll do is it shows you a map with a general area of where the Airbnb is. It's not gonna give you the address right away because that's how Airbnb works. So you take that general area and you zoom into that map and you look at a street name, and then you go to Google Maps and you look up that street name, and then you zoom and zoom and zoom until you can drag the little person and plop it in and you can see street view. That's gonna give you a lot of insight into the area you are staying in. That is so key. Make sure you do that, please. Do not get yourself hurt or anything. Like, stay away from problems because that's gonna cost you more money in the long run. So what I like to do is, so like actually, you would think that Airbnbs in LA would be super expensive. For one night, I think I spent $60. And yes, relatively to different things, that is expensive. you know, especially if you're not making a lot of money. But when you start growing and your career starts building, $60 starts to get a little less. You know, it's not $120 at a hotel. So this $60, it was in a decent area of LA, perfect location. So think about location too, because if you're trying to go to one side of the town, but you're living in another side of the town at that Airbnb, you're gonna have cost of Uber driving back and forth, or you know, if you drove, you're gonna have gas costs driving back and forth. So keep that in mind when you're looking. And sometimes there's gems, especially if you go at an off time. You know, if you work a job and you can take off days, do it at an off time. Don't go Memorial weekend and be like, I don't know why the prices of these Airbnbs are so expensive. Michelle said you could do it for $60. Well, don't go those times. I went in the middle of like the beginning of June and it was totally random. Especially if you take off like mid-weekdays, your flights are gonna be so cheap. Like a Thursday to a Tuesday, that's solid. If you can take like Friday and Thursday off, Monday and Tuesday or something like that, girl or boy or whatever, you are good, okay? You're gonna be so good. Like your flights are gonna be cheap, your Airbnbs are gonna be set. Last thing I wanted to tell you guys was packing food and flying with food. So these can be a little bit weird. So sometimes airlines can be a little funny about like you taking food in. So don't pack rice. I don't know why you would. Don't pack like a thing of rice because they will stop you and they're gonna poke a thing into your bag of rice to make sure there's not something hiding in it. But you can pack snacks, and I recommend snack bars. So some good snack examples are like Kind bars, or we have my absolute favorite. This is Garden of Life. But notice the flavor. So this is their salted caramel flavor. They have a bunch of other really nice flavors, but they have a chocolate coating and that chocolate will melt. You don't want that. So be kind of careful when you're packing snacks, but pack snacks because airplane food is so expensive. If you didn't know that, that is like total common knowledge. Like everyone knows at the airport jacks up their prices because you don't really have a choice. If you're hungry and you have, you know, you're not gonna go out and then come back into the airport. So they got you. So they're gonna jack their prices up. So like a Naked Juice is like $7 or something, and you can go to the gas station and get that for like $3. Bad example because you can't take liquids into the airport, but you get my drift. So let's say you just arrived to wherever. So you've stopped flying and now you're Ubering, you're driving. So a key thing to bring is a backpack, and that's where you're gonna keep your food and your snacks. And you're not gonna have to stop at cafe after cafe because you're hungry. You're gonna be like, oh, we're traveling here, I'm gonna grab this snack, we're gonna save money. I would really recommend going to a grocery store the first day, finding some nice easy snacks to take with you, like bananas, snack bars. You know, try to be healthy because the more fiber and the more like healthy snacks that you choose, the less hungry you're gonna actually be. So try those tips out when it comes to like packing and food. Also try to pack a little lighter so that you have room in your backpack for a couple snacks when you get there. So I'm actually gonna wrap this up. We're gonna bring it back in and just like have an overview of everything. Take opportunity. Know in your mind that you are able to make these moves, okay? If you keep saying, oh, I'll never be able to go here, you will not, because you're not gonna see the opportunities. It's all about putting yourself in the right mindset, but my camera is about to run out of space, so I love you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you have any extra tips. Love you. I'm so awkward sometimes.